Hey everyone, Aggie here. Just want to talk with you a little bit. I got an outstanding question about throwing bullpens, and in the off season, what type of bullpens should players be working on? So the answer to that is several. You should always be working on honing your craft and refining things as much as you possibly can. So if you found out some information through the fall where, hey, I'm struggling with fastball command, then you might want to spend some time on fastball bullpens, right? And just throwing consistent fastballs, getting your mechanics right, getting your timing right, syncing up, all those sorts of things. But today, I want to talk a little bit about the curveball bullpen, okay? And people are like, what? The curveball bullpen? So this is a way that I've found over the years with many players and then myself back in my pro days where it really helped me refine my curveball, not only from the spin aspect, but also from the feel aspect. So you always want to start off, and again, make sure this is age appropriate. So if you get into 13, 14 and above, and probably 16, 17 into college guys, this is something that I find is really, really helpful for those guys. So you always want to start off with grip. For me, I always like to go along the horseshoe or the U, and I would go middle finger here, right finger's on there just for holding it, and I've got a seam underneath and a seam underneath like that, okay? And so now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to spin the ball out front. So one of the problems that I consistently see with young throwers is that they're trying to really tear that through on that curveball from back here, and it actually hurts it. It just spins like this. We're trying to spin that breaking ball out front, okay? So whether your grip's like this, some guys will choose to go up on the seam here. You have to find a grip that works for you. Back in the day, I would throw a spiked curveball like this. And so again, I've got middle finger here, got some spike there, seam and seam. I've got really tight grip on a tight rotation pitch, okay? So what you're gonna do is start out just kind of like where you're duplicating this part of the delivery, where you're in that core extension phase, and you got some tension in there. And now all I'm gonna do is get a little rhythm, and I'm gonna try and spin this on top of home plate. And notice I'm just getting forward, my body's getting forward, my head's getting out front, and my hand's getting out front, okay? And that's the key to throwing this curveball bullpen. So I'm here. Again, I'm trying to bounce it on top of home plate, spinning it out front. That's the feel part. So you might do that for 4 or 5, maybe throw some fastballs while you're in there just to get that arm speed, those sort of things. And then you're gonna move back a little bit. So, and this is where the feel of pitching comes in. So now I get to that same position. Now I'm my rock, and now I'm gonna go up to balance point. Boom, and notice what I'm doing. I'm creating building blocks for my throwing motion as I'm throwing the curveball. So I'm not only getting feel for the motion, I'm also getting feel for the ball and spin, okay? So you do a couple of those, demonstrate one more. Again, I've got the grip, rock a little bit, come up to balance point, accelerate. I'm picking out very specific points of where I'm throwing. Right now, I'm trying to spin it on top of home plate, and then I'm trying to land one for a strike. Then on top of home plate, and then one for a strike, okay? So, from this angle here, then you hop on the mound, and that's where I get into fastball, curveball. And the reason you go fastball, curveball is because one, you have to establish the fastball arm speed, you have to establish the fastball window of release, and then that allows you to get in that curveball window of release. So if I've got fastball, right, all my curveball is going to do is be, if my fastball's here, my curveball is going to be out of the same window, hopefully, but just with a different wrist position. So fastball's here, curveball's here, and I'm coming through that thing and really trying to, again, spin the front of the baseball, right? So when I go like that, it's a nice drill for young players to be able to learn to spin it. They're just flipping it out of their hand, just like this. But what I'm doing is I'm spinning the front of the baseball. Boom, and that's what gives that tight rotation. So, many different variables. We're gonna talk about a bunch of different types of bullpens you can throw in the off season or preparing for the spring season. But today, curveball bullpen. It's an outstanding way to really refine that breaking ball and get it ramped up and get it dirty for the spring. So, thanks for watching and enjoy the game.